Hello once again. You might like to outdoors. I'd like to thank you for joining me for another episode of Burn Friday Burn. It's kind of cool, so I probably ain't gonna be around much longer. Uh, I've got an idea that was given to me, and it seems that according to the scriptures, now I'm not going to tell you something that I can't back up with this. It seems that in order to be a truly follower of Jesus Christ, now this might offend some people, and some of you might be a little, I don't know, a little faint at heart for this, but in order, according to the scriptures now, in order to be a true follower of Jesus Christ, you've got to be a killer. Yeah. I'm going to read this out of Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. So put to death the sinful earthly things lurking within you. See, you've got to be a killer. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over there and kill a little wood. I'm going to put some fire to it. I'll be right back. So let's see what we can do with this. Put it to death. We might can just do that. Fat wood can get the job done from the looks of it. Well, now, where was I? I was killing those sinful things that lurk within me. You know, sometimes when I'm down at the prison doing some of my volunteer work, I do some counseling with a few of the guys. And here recently on one of my scheduled counseling sessions, I had to mention this to one of the guys. Now, sometimes it's hard to convince someone that they ought to commit such an act, but the Bible tells us to do that. There are things within us that we are born with that we have to get rid of. Here recently I did that video, Put Off, Put On, and it was about this same thing, that we got to get rid of part of us so that the other part of us can live. And right now I'm kind of cold. Like I said last time, we went from summer one day and all of a sudden it was winter the next day. And it has been cold ever since. So I said in Colossians chapter 3, verse 5, it said, "So put to death the sinful earthly things lurking within you. Have nothing to do with sexual immorality, impurity, lust, and evil desires. Don't be greedy, for a greedy person is an idolater, worshiping the things of this world." Well, in jumping ahead to verse 10, it says, "Put on your new nature and be renewed as you learn to know your Creator and become like Him." So in order to become more Christ-like, we have to be willing to put to death the old man. So you have to become a killer. You have to kill off that old nature. And it's sometimes people who are influenced by their own sinful nature seem to step out in life to make it impossible for you to be that new person that you're supposed to be. They want you to remain in your old nature. And that was the point I was trying to make to this man that I was counseling with, without actually calling him childish. I mean, it's a grown man, but sometimes that's how we are. We act kind of childish. We throw tantrums because we know when somebody tells us we need to change our attitude, we need to change our thinking process, we know they're right, but we are so accustomed, we're so comfortable with our old self, we know who we are, and we don't want to become somebody different. But in order to be a follower of Jesus Christ, we have to be somebody different than what we used to be. We have to be willing to do that. God's not going to make us do it. He might allow things to happen in our life that will lead us in a direction to make us change our mind or to give us the desire to change. I know that for a fact. That's how it was with me. At the bottom of the rock pile comes to everybody sooner or later. No one, I don't care who you are, what walk in life you are in, you're not always going to be on top of the world. Something's going to happen to knock you down. So, like I said, I'm not sticking around too long because this wind is something else. We have like 43 degrees, but the wind chill is giving us 25, and I don't have no fur coat. My heavier jacket is in the laundry. My goodness. And you know, that's part of it, what I was talking about too. I have to be willing to do something different, step away from what I'm used to. I was used to sitting in the house where it was nice and warm, and I had to step away from that and come out here and get this done because it was the right thing to do. Yeah. Otherwise, you wouldn't be hearing this right now. Sharon and Reba both. Sharon especially. Reba's nursemaid and mama, because she 3 days ago she come down with a case of bronchitis. Had to get her a couple of shots from the doctor and some medications, some cough medication and other things, and She wasn't going, and I wasn't going to have her get out here in this cold wind uh, because she doesn't need to be. But like I said at the beginning, there's something you've got to be willing to do in order to be that new person, so that you can learn to know your Creator. You've got to step away from the sinful nature, put it to rest, bury it deep so that it can't get back out of the ground. Yeah. Again, I'd like to thank you for joining me. Uh, I'm ready to get out of it. So I'm going to just cut it off there and remind you, do not allow the sinful nature to rule your life and to ruin your life. Put it to death, just like the scripture said to do. God wouldn't tell us to do it if it wasn't possible. So I think it's going to be possible for you to join me again next time for another Burn Friday Burn. May the Lord bless and keep you to that.